Pisces, welcome back. Welcome to your week ahead reading for August 18th through the 24th. This is Born Without Boundaries. For those of you who are just being introduced to the channel, my name is Michelle and this is my channel, Born Without Boundaries. Please do click subscribe as well as ring that bell, because that's the only way you'll know when I go live. And I try to go live as often as possible on the channel, and ringing the bell is the only way that you find that out. So this message is for Pisces for the week ahead, or this week, general energies surrounding the zodiac sign of Pisces. Could be your sun sign, could be your moon sign. Your moon sign is also a very important sign. Your rising sign. Or if you know astrology very well and you're familiar with your natal chart, you could actually apply this energy to wherever Pisces shows up in your natal chart, if you are that intricately involved. But the messages surrounding Pisces this week, you know, Pisces, I feel like you really have, I think you found your own swing. But like bottom line is I feel like there's a divide. And with Pisces, isn't that unique? Isn't that interesting? Because there is a divide. It's always two contrasting emotions trying to reconcile themselves. So with Pisces, I feel like there's definitely going to be that suit of you that has found your stride. But in some ways, you're also losing momentum and you're losing the attention. And you didn't realize how much you needed the attention to feel good about what you were doing. And it's bothering you. And then there are the other set of you that have been lost for quite some time. And now maybe some things, that disappointments that you have set into action are coming back this week to kind of really cause you some stress. What do I mean specifically by that? This is a general reading, so, and I haven't even started the cards yet, but what specifically, I mean what I just said, which is there are issues from your past that are re-emerging, situations that you really could have been the key player in causing the hardships with, and maybe didn't take full responsibility for, and now they're kind of coming back to revisit you this week. I don't want to say haunt, but revisit you this week. And there is this need to get away from them again. There is this need to not want to really hear or listen to those voices from the past, because it's just too heavy for you. This is the group of Pisces that, you already have still a heavy heart, and so you really can't stand much more weight. So this is really bad timing in terms of the universe. But Saturn is coming up against Pluto soon, and I have to say that's all about really karma coming out for deep hidden things. So this would be things from the past that you would rather forget. And I mentioned Pisces in particular is going to affect you because Neptune, your key planet, is still in retrograde. It will be to the end of November. What that means for you is you don't have your dream world to hide into. You can't escape the realities that come back to bite you. And usually you will. Usually you are very good at finding an escape for things. But escape doesn't come so easily when your Neptune is in retrograde. And so this week, as the planets confront each other, or maybe they have been confronting each other for a while, I just know that it's happening. And it could bring up some challenges for you with things that you haven't dealt with. That's especially for this group of Pisces. It's a little bit heavier and hasn't healed as much. For the group of Pisces that was doing really well and has been doing very, very well over the past couple of months, this has really been the sun is shining on you, and you've really felt yourself again. You've really felt like you're in control of your life again. The success that you've accomplished over the past couple of weeks or months or have been experiencing it's almost like you're realizing this week it was more dependent upon people's approval. Your good feelings were more dependent upon people's approval than you would like them to be. Okay. Know your worth. Freedom is yours. Bring your ideas to life. Nothing is wasted. This is about utilizing those experiences in the past. This is how you confront them. You integrate them in what you're currently doing. You integrate them into your creative activity. You integrate them into whatever you're working on. You integrate them into your life at large. You reintegrate them into your life. You don't run from them. You don't hide from them. There is going to be that feeling of, I want to just break free of it. I want this to go away. But that's not really the solution. That's not really something, that's not really a solution you have. So this week you're going to find inspiration in this pain, in this understanding of yourself, in this confrontation of, past hardships or challenges. This card comes when we learn how to use our experiences and what we're going through and the things that are more uncomfortable for us, when we learn how to use those things to our benefit. And this week, Pisces, I see you putting it together. Maybe if you're in the public eye, you've gotten bad press this week. Maybe your group of friends is shifted or changed, or somebody whose disapproval you never thought you'd earn, suddenly you have. It's kind of a comeuppance of sorts of confronting why would this person behave like this, or what is the problem? What is the concern? Why are they angry with me? You have a very patient and sympathetic mindset toward them, toward this person, these people. And your experiences with them, you realize that even if they have to leave your life, the experiences with them have not been wasted. The experiences that you have had with them, honestly, have been some of the best experiences in your life. And the way to let it not harm you or really rip you apart or make you feel unstable is to use those experiences, including the experience of maybe losing them or losing their approval, and use that experience to manifest something about you, to manifest creatively, to inspire a creative work, to inspire a song or a novel or a new line of work, to inspire you somehow to move forward and keep moving on. I feel like there was a coupling in the past between you and, it's almost like you were diametric opposites. They were frumpy and not so attractive, and most people wouldn't have found any beauty in them. But in a very Piscean way, you absolutely found beauty in them. You not only found beauty in them, you found a liberation in them. You found a freedom in them that you didn't have in anybody else, because they just adored you and worshiped you in every capacity. And this relationship, I feel, is what has ended. And it may not have just ended. This is not necessarily something in the recent past, Pisces. This is something that it's almost like older, but it's still very prevalent in your life, and it's affected you a great deal. And this week, with all the karmic lessons coming up, it will continue to affect you a great deal. We're moving into Virgo season. We're moving out of Leo season, which is a really feel-good season, and we're moving into Virgo season, which is a season of work, which is a season of toil, so that we can nurture things, including ourselves. So there was a relationship between you and maybe a fire sign in your past, maybe a Scorpio. There was a relationship that was essentially fundamental toward everything you are or who you became. And right now, this relationship, like this is a past relationship. This situation, this circumstance has ended. It's over. But what it's doing is it's cluttering up your current situation. And you're trying to find ways to make those experiences useful to yourself. But they're not necessarily, it's not necessarily easy stuff. Like I said, there's a whole group of you that don't want to go through this stuff, that really just wish it would go away forever, and you don't know why it's coming back, and it is really frustrating for you. But also it could just be, but also the other group of you is going to really find a way to incorporate it and your experiences into creative endeavors. You're not going to let this go to waste. You're going to find a way to use all that you're experiencing now with these karmic lessons, all this kind of baggage or waste that you had forgotten about that's reemerging. You're going to use it as progress. You're going to use it as a way to move forward into the future, to do something with it. And that's how you're going to deal with it. That's your coping mechanism, is to create from this. I feel like this is definitely the two of you. It does have something to do with something you were passionate about, maybe with a vocation that had to do with the arts, or just definitely something that you were extremely into, extremely focused on. But the connection between the two of you, the connection between the two of you was always compromised by circumstances that surrounded it. In other words, even though the two of you had excellent chemistry and had a lot of qualities where you could have made it a long term, and maybe you have made it a long term, even if this is not like a romantic relationship, even if this is a job, somebody that you're working with, your beginning was compromised somehow. Like your beginning, if you go back to the beginning of when you started this, of when you met this person, your beginning was compromised. So there was a lot of chaos and confusion around it. There was a lot of things that would make it unstable and become burdens in the future. 1212, I just saw it when I looked up. So that's definitely got to do with counterparts, Pisces. That definitely has to do with a love affair and somebody that you're very tightly bonded to. You're almost diametric opposites of each other. It's like, I feel like this is very Sagittarian energy because it's coming through as a very mutable energy, but it's fire energy as opposed to your Piscean energy. And this relationship could have lasted quite some time. If it's still going on, there is conflicts around it. And it's conflicts that have existed for quite some time. In other words, since the beginning and inception of this relationship maybe, for example, started with people cheating on each other. And even though it worked out long term for you, there's always been baggage because of it. Well, these are karmic debts unpaid, and these are the kind of things that might come up this week. These are the kind of things that might challenge you this week because the piper hasn't been paid. Because karma insists on being paid, and it's never something that you can escape. And this isn't even something that you did that was bad or wrong. It's just that you did become part of this situation. And now this circumstance is asking you to help to heal it. And your solution to helping things heal will be incorporating this circumstance. Yeah. So incorporating this circumstance into your work, into your creative outlets. Now, who just showed up? Be generous of spirit. So be very forgiving. If there are other parties involved and they're hurt, be understanding and very gentle toward them, because wouldn't you want somebody in other words, you want to end and clean out the karmic cycles. You don't want to start new ones. But that isn't difficult for you, Pisceans, because you have a very steady nature when it comes to people feeling things. People's emotions don't threaten you. They don't scare you. That's a very comfortable place for you to be. So you may actually be, and this is what I'm seeing, you may be the messenger and harbor of peace in this situation. As these karmic cycles come up, you're the one that's going to be the one to deliver the clarity and the peace to the situation. And it is through finding ways to use it positively in your life, to use all this craziness in your life. Because really, I feel like the way you're coming through here is, yeah, we really should have handled that a while ago. We really should have taken care of that a while. Like, what did we expect? That this was never going to come up again? It's almost like you get it. You understand. You know, if you are involved with a fire sign, they are going to want to just pass it by. They're just going to want to just push it over. And you don't think this is a good idea. And you're right. You're right. This isn't a good idea. It's not a good idea to just try to make it go away again or burn through it. These things have to be dealt with. And I don't think you fear this. Some of you do. Some of you are going to try to find a way to avoid it again. And I'm telling you, that's only going to make the karmic cycle repeat. But for the good portion of you, you're just going to find a way to release yourself from the situation by dealing with the situation, by confronting the situation. And people are going to be looking to you to deliver that guidance. Happy birthday, Doug Denny. I just saw 6:23 on my timer, and that's my son's birthday. Every time I see my son's birthday, which is June 23rd, I always say happy birthday, Doug Denny, out loud. It's my own personal celebration of him. Now you understand where that comes from. I'll get back to your reading. I really see you taking the lead here by being the messenger of peace, by being the messenger of the way forward. You may actually be the one that says, you should really call this person, because now that you explained things to me, it didn't end well. And I don't want to begin, or I don't want to continue on a bad note. I don't want this to be part of my karma. Right? Let's make amends. It will be you this week that decides to make amends. Even if this is translated into business, it will be you that says, no, as irritating as it is, let's go back into the data from 5 years ago. Let's analyze it, wash through it, and make sure that we haven't missed anything. Like, that will be you this week. You will be the one with the solid, stable head on your shoulders. You're going to be the solid foundation in this circumstance. Now, it could be for some of you that if this is a romantic relationship or some kind of partnership, you may be deciding to break up with this fire sign. You may be deciding that, you know what? Not only have I tried to understand what you were going through back then, I've tried to offer you a way forward, and they're just not jiving with your ideals and your standards for living. Like, you've gotten to know them, especially through this circumstance, in a way that is not flattering, in a way that is not something that raises you. They're not somebody that raises you up. They're not somebody that makes you 1818. God. Pisceans, this is definitely counterpart material. I feel like maybe the person you've been with for the past couple of years has not been the right person. That they actually were sort of desperate measures for getting yourself out of a relationship that actually meant a lot to you. If this has to do with relationships. If this has to do with a job, like I said, you could be leading the forces in terms of making sure that you go over past books to make sure that everything has been done correctly. Like, you usually, but you are an emotionally detailed person, right? And I feel like you feel intuitively that there is something in the past that you can use, that you can make use of, that is beneficial, that will be beneficial to you moving on into the future. That it's not just clearing it out that will be beneficial. It's actually, there are bits and pieces of it that will become very useful to you. Part of these things have to do with this information that maybe makes you see this person in a different light. This person that you've been with for the past couple of years, admitting that maybe you weren't with them for the best reasons. But whatever it is, regardless, you will be the bearer, the messenger of peace. You will be the messenger of tranquility, of resolution. You will be the guide and the leader toward resolution this week, Pisces. That will be the position that you take. But I really do think that there could be a breakup of sorts. Not somebody breaking up with you, somebody that you've actually already kind of established a little bit of a distance from. Like somebody that maybe they were in your life for too long, or they're in your life from a long time ago, or you've basically realized that there's things about them that you just don't approve of, and that they don't serve your higher purpose and your higher self. And you've kind of gotten, this is just for a select group of you, you've kind of gotten sick of the bullshit, and you it's really time for you to move on. It's time for you to move on from this experience. Take it for what it was, take it for what it's worth, and then just keep going, Pisces. Just keep going. I really do see the past reemerging, and you using it in the best sense. I feel like you found yourself, and you just have not lost yourself again. You're really benefiting a lot from Neptune being in retrograde, because where you would run and hide and escape, whatever vehicles you use to escape, doesn't have to be unhealthy vehicles, but that escape mechanism is not as available to you anymore, because the veil has been pulled back. Neptune is still in retrograde, and it's really giving you, almost empowering you to get to know yourself better, and to live healthier and live a cleaner, healthier, more prosperous life, because you're confronting things that normally you would have tried to sweep under the carpet. Pisces, this is a great time for you to be establishing new karmic patterns and new ways of behaving that will enable this health and nutrition to continue even when Neptune is back in its full force and welcoming you back into dreams. This is something that you feel like it's almost like a vacation in reality for you. I've said this to you before. It's almost like this vacation time for you is in reality, and you're really loving how it feels to feel the wind on your face and your floor on the feet, your feet on the floor. Like you're loving this real life experience instead of just being lost in sort of the dream world. However, and it's also empowering your creative mojo, because it's enabling you to take this reality that normally you might want to escape from and use it as a channel and a mechanism into this new creative endeavor of yours. And it's really abundant. It's really working for you, because what you normally would have tried to escape from, what you normally would have tried to wear a mask with, you're now uncovering yourself. You're now revealing yourself. Your veil has been pulled off. And this new creative endeavor, this new artwork, this new job that you have is actually exposing yourself. It's letting the world know who you are. And Pisces, you actually really like the feeling of not hiding. You're enjoying that feeling. So this is what could have been a very difficult week for you, and a week that could offer some karmic difficulties for you, will be, you will flip and turn, and you will use it in the best sense and empower this creative drive of yours, and you'll use it to not only elevate yourself, but also elevate your work. This is exceptional. Now, Pisceans, I am going to go into a deeper read as to the long-term effects of how this will affect you. Let's see how this will play out maybe as Neptune comes back into direct. But also, we're going to delve into, are there any romantic prospects for you? Because I intentionally try to stay away from romantic situations, talking about romantic situations, unless it's so prevalent. Like I've mentioned a few things so far. Unless it's so prevalent that I just can't escape it. But generally, Pisces, I always do the romance readings over on Vimeo. So if you want to see the Vimeo reading, the link is down below. That will be specifically a romance reading, as well as I'll use tarot to clarify a little bit more about this situation that I already see going on between you and a fire sign. If you're curious about how that's going to end, mosey on over to Vimeo. If I'm parting ways with you here, thank you so much for watching. And leave your comments below. I'd love to see what you're experiencing, what you're going through. I feel like you're going to come up on the positive swing this week. You can't be bridled this week. Your creative drive and the way that you feel about yourself cannot be compromised this week. And that's a good position to be in on a week where you might run into a little bit of karma. So I'll see you next week, or I'll see you on Vimeo. Bye, Pisces.